Welcome to Transforming with Us,
where we talk about
all things trans and queer.
Welcome back, everybody, to Transforming with Us, where Drew and I speak all things trans, queer, non-binary, LGBTQ, whatever related. Awesome. So I want to introduce a really neat topic today that we're really super excited to hear about because we know that, I'm going to be honest, the world has it out against us right now. There's been some really bad things. One of my coworkers was actually harassed on a train the other day. They're actually making the news. You can probably look it up. My associate Neil and his husband got screamed at on a train, and their kids were told that their parents are pedophiles. So yay, awesome! The Republicans are doing a great job. Not all Republicans are bad. I do want to point that out. There have been some good ones, but on that note, with all the badness, we want to bring out the goodness, and the goodness is a lot of people are actually raising money and helping to take care of our community.
Yeah, and some of these names are pretty big too. On Trans Day of Visibility, Ariana Grande had made a Instagram post about how she was raising money for the trans and to help protect trans youth.
Yes, she did. She ended up matching. She said she would match up to donations of $1.5 million. So that would be a total of $3 million to donate to trans youth and to help beat these legislations across the entire United States. I also know that Rue Dickey who's in Oregon. Also, they use they, he pronouns. We're having like a little bit of a crisis and stuff, and the whole Texas thing happened and stuff. But they said that they wanted to do something to help trans youth and their families. And I was kind of like, okay, this is awesome. So they're doing what's called tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, and creating a lot, like that's what they do. And they're using these games and creating bundle packages with like a 493 games and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to help raise money for all of the trans people. And they're about, I think their goal was 11,000 originally, and now they're at like 420,000 or something. Or last time I checked, like this goes to show you we actually aren't as hated as the world thinks we are.
Right, and more people are becoming allies, and more people are, and I also think a good portion of it has to do too is that now that it's being talked about more and being trans isn't such a like, oh my gosh, like, well, what is that type of thing? Kids are now comfortable with coming out, and so parents who might not have been supportive of the idea before, now because they're put into a situation where it's hit them inside their household, now they're getting into the form of being an ally, and okay, how can I help, and what can I do? And so we have a lot more allies than we did 20 years ago, that's for sure, a decade ago. And I think that it's going to be hopefully continuing to head in the positive direction on that.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people got upset when Little Nas did the whole pregnancy thing, and I understand that it makes 100% sense why people who are seahorse dads would get a little bit mad about that. But I will say that one of the things that did come out of that is that he actually donated a lot of money to trans kids and to trans people, and he purposely was helping fundraise money to help people in our community because he is in our community. He's the G in the LGBT. I mean, like, that's showing you how to be connectivity.
Right, and taking that and showing that you can do good out of it, and I love seeing these bigger named artists and people really helping out because they carry a big name, that the world knows their name, and for a young kid to say, oh my gosh, like Ariana Grande or Lil Nas, they're some of my favorite singers, and then also have them be supportive of the LGBTQ community helps teach these younger kids that it's okay to be who you are, it's okay to be different, and knowing that they have people out there that inspire them and will have their backs.
Yeah, another amazing human being I can think of is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mhm.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis. When I was younger, I used to watch movies with Jamie Lee Curtis when I was a kid. And I remember being like, oh, daddy, she's so pretty and stuff like that, right? And her daughter recently had a birthday and she celebrated her daughter's birthday, and her daughter is transgender. It's like, come on. And so it's like, it goes like, um, what was it? Hold on. Now I got to think of that movie that she was in. Guys and girls and days and them. It's gonna drive me crazy.
I
The
love a lot.
movie, guys, girls, days and them.
Ghostbusters, wasn't she? She was in
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
No. That wasn't. I don't think it was Ghostbusters. True Lies. She was in the movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's the first movie I ever
Okay,
saw Jamie
I
Lee
know
Curtis.
that
And I
one.
have to go on this rant, people. I do have to go on this rant. If you have not seen True Lies, watch it because there's a part where she has to do a striptease number. She has to dance and she doesn't know it's her actual husband. She thinks it's like some Russian spy guy. I don't know. It's really an interesting thing that happens. But yeah,
Movie.
Jamie Lee Curtis is supportive of Ruby, her transgender daughter. There's a recent basketball player,
Friday, that's the movie I was thinking of.
Friday, Freaky
Freaky
Friday.
Friday.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. She is she's one of my favorite actresses for sure.
yes. And then there's Dwayne Wade, yes, who supports their transgender daughter. And Dwayne Wade is a 3 NBA titles, Olympic gold medals, and too many scoring records to mention. That's literally what this article says. But they also completely 100% support their wonderful transgender daughter wholeheartedly. It's like the thing that's amazing is I'm watching these people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, colors, creeds, you name it,
Right,
and they support their kids.
right.
Like this is absolutely amazing. And like, yeah, at first we didn't have the language for it, but now we do have the language for it. And now we're trying to understand and we're trying to, get help people with these processes. And it's really nice to see technically these would be transgender heroes for us because they're the people who acknowledge that we exist and
Mhm.
acknowledge that they want to help us.
Right, right, and they're helping. Um, right now for trans youth, like previous podcasts, and everybody knows what's going on in the United States right now. But it's so important that they see that they have people standing behind them, and that they have people that are going to fight for them and protect them, and to see the bigger names of just even allies.
Mhm.
uh, Obviously we're going to do what we can to help each other inside the community, but when an ally who's not even part of the community looking from the outside in, and they're willing to try and help and protect kids that are going through all these things right now, is just it's an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah, there are a lot of also things that you can do research on. I do advocate that a lot of people do research because I'm going to be the first person to tell you that just because we're trans doesn't mean that we know everything about every transgender stuff. So we're not going to be able to educate you on everything. Also, the same thing goes for like a person of color. You can't expect them to teach you everything. Do some research. So if you want to do some research, you can go. We have HRC resources to be an ally support. They have that. Minus18.org.au does how to be a trans ally. GLAD, of course, has a trans ally stuff. What else is there? Transequality.org. They also have some information on how to be a trans ally. Of course, the Trevor Project. We have to mention the Trevor Project.
Right.
So that's extremely important too. PFlag, transhub.org. I think that's about everybody I can think of right now, on top of my head. But yeah, those people are the ones that can really kind of give you a little bit of insight because they have done a lot of the background work and a lot of the checking and things of that nature.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I can't wait till we get this resource page up too, so we can be able to not only share it in the show notes like we do, but we'll have a whole page dedicated to it. Um,
Yes.
and just be able to help anybody and everybody be able to just live in a better, happier place and be accepting. And like you said, just because we're trans doesn't mean that we know everything. There's still days where I Google stuff like, okay, I want to find this out, or I want to find that out. Google has been my best friend since before even coming out. And research, research, research.
Research, research, research. Yes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I may have or may or not have screwed up a few times people and asked the wrong questions and been like asked the people stuff. And even when I was transitioning, I was like, hey, and then they'd be like, you don't ask that. And I was like, okay, but I want to know somebody because I want to transition. And then like, oh well, then you can ask that. So sometimes like there's also like ways you have to do it. Which I always found was kind of interesting because I was like, oh, I probably should be careful about what I say, but at the same time, it is 100% okay to ask questions to the right people, and if you ask them with the right intention. And I can even say this: I had a friend recently. It was during the whole Leah Thomas situation, and I wrote about and I posted it, and he asked questions on my page. Now, anybody who didn't know my friend would probably gotten a little bit frustrated because he's asking a lot of questions and stuff like that. But me knowing my friend's heart and intention, I was able to write back thoughtfully with the correct research, explain like what kind of like what Leah Thomas actually went through. And he goes, wow, thank you for educating me. I do have a lot to still learn and stuff. I'm going to look further into this. That's the way to do it because he asked with proper intention and kindness. He wrote it with intention and kindness. And when I gave him some information that I could give him saying, look, I may not have all the answers, he said, perfect. I'll continue doing the research and educate myself. That's what you do.
I had someone similar to that reach out recently to a friend that I've been friends with for a few years now, but like doesn't really get the whole, or understand being transgender and stuff like that. And, which is fine. Like I would never expect anybody that isn't like me to understand because it's just not something that you can if you're not in that position. But genuinely, like it was on my video showing how I do my gel and he commented on it and was like, oh hey, like I'm very open-minded to everything. I've been following your journey for years now. Is this just something that you do routinely in between your shots, or like very politely asking what the gel was about and what it was for? And I will answer questions like that all day long because I'm able to educate. It's when people pop off and they're like, being rude about something, exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's like, why? I don't give those people the time of day. But just like you, like if someone comes to me and they're not educated and they're looking to be educated or genuinely asking the questions, I don't think there's a question that I probably wouldn't answer as long as I was being respected when asked it.
Yes, that's the thing is that it's being respectful because I know that some people aren't always going to say the right thing and they're not gonna mean it harmfully. And you got to remember that they're not meaning it out of malice. That's probably the best. Yeah, they're not meaning it out of malice. Yes. But there are people who do. Like I think the only rudest question I've ever had was that, of course, the whole what's in my pants the question. And then I was like, are you sleeping with me? And they went, no. Then I was like, then why? Then what's in your pants? Then you got a shriveled dinky? You have a micro penis? Am I bigger than you? And I'm like, you should have seen how uncomfortable they got. They got really uncomfortable. And I was like, see, I don't know. You don't want to answer that, do you? You're like, why the hell do you think I want to answer that? I was like, I don't know about that. But that's like the only thing. Most of the time I do get lucky. I do think it's a little bit about my demeanor sometimes where people are like, hey, you're kind of nice about it. So, yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Ask questions, fine, but don't ask me what's in my pants. It ain't none of your business. It's my wife's business. Like, leave alone.
Right.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for people when it comes to asking questions or not?
I've always been taught that there's no such thing as a stupid question. Ask whatever question that you want to ask. Be respectful about it. Try and respect boundaries. If it's not a question that you would want somebody asking you, then you probably shouldn't be asking it to somebody else. Just like how you just gave the example with, well, you wouldn't ask them. You're not going up to people asking what's in their pants. Why would they ask you what's in your pants? But as long as you're being respectful and kind and are coming from a good place, I'll pretty much answer any question that is thrown my way. I love to help people see not only my point of view but educate and ask away, that especially if you're in the trans youth and you're looking for help and direction, or how the order you need to do things in. I'm actually helping a personal friend with it right now. Okay. My non-binary child thinks that they may want to start testosterone. They're 16 years old, so they're technically, they need gender therapy. They need to go through all these things first, and helping get her set, resources for that. it's never stupid to ask a question as long as it's within certain boundaries and being respectful.
Yes, and that's probably the biggest thing right there. As long as it's within certain boundaries and being respectful. And honestly, people, if you see somebody that we didn't recognize as helping the transgender community, please go to our website, transformingwithus.com, contact us, send us something, or email us at info@transformingwithus.com. Help us too. Help us educate people. We miss people. We're not perfect. We want to make sure and yeah, if you want to share your story, let us know too.
Yeah. I think we've got a couple more interviews that we're working on lining up, and we're ready for more. So if you want to share your story, if you want to, come out here and be visible with us and talk and talk about things that you've went through, we want to share it. We're here for it. And everybody's story definitely deserves to get to be heard and to be told.
100,000%. I couldn't agree more.
Well, and just like how we always like to end our shows on a positive note of affirmation, I just want to remind everybody that you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're valid, you're worthy, and we hear you, we see you. Let's keep on pushing through it all.
Thank you for listening to Transforming with Us. You can like, follow, and share on all major platforms to keep up with all things trans and queer.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.